Hi, I'm Felipa, and today is day 87 of completing this Bible. Today's going to be very short because I only had about 1.5 pages to read. I started on chapter 28, where David exhorts the people to fear God. So David basically speaks to the people of Israel. He gathers everybody and he says, I had it in my heart to build this house for the Lord, but he said, it's not going to be you that builds it, it'll be your son, Solomon. And then he goes on to say that he wants everybody to continue following in God's commandments. And here in verse 9, he says, And thou, Solomon, my son, know thou the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searcheth all hearts and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found with thee, but if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. And so this is an interesting part saying, serve him not only with this perfect heart, but willingly, right? With a willing mind. And it says even that, so God looks at all the hearts and he understands all of the thoughts that you might have in your imagination. But if you continue to seek him, you will find him. And if you completely forsake him, he will cast you off. So you just need to be willing to find God. He gives Solomon the plans for the temple and the vessels, so literally all of the gold, the weight of everything for all of the individual items that need to be built. And here in verse 19, it says, All this, said David, the Lord made me understand in writing by his hand upon me, even all the works of this pattern. So, really interesting piece, but basically David saying, it was the Lord who made me understand what I need to do, what I need to build by his hand, in writing by his hand upon me. So David wrote out the pattern and the way that this house of God is going to look like, but it was through being commanded and led by the Lord himself. He then gives to the temple and urges the people to follow his example. So he gives of his own belongings and of his own money, and the people of Israel do so too. And then in verse 9 it says, Then the people rejoiced, for that they offered willingly, because with perfect heart they offered willingly to the Lord, and David the king also rejoiced with great joy. And then David gives a thanksgiving and a prayer, and we go to this last piece here, where Solomon ends up taking the throne, and David ends up reigning and dying in good old age, full of days, riches, and honor. And so this is where we end the first book of Chronicles. Tomorrow, day 88, I will start the second book of Chronicles. So thank you for hearing me out, and I appreciate your time here with me today. I'll see you tomorrow.